Hey everyone, how's it going today? My name is Michael Saad, and we have Jon with us today from Client Chat Live. We're going to be talking about how to leverage Google Ads and Client Chat Live to grow your law firm. So by the end of this meeting, you're going to learn three different things. You'll have a clear understanding for why you should focus on intent-based marketing. You'll know how to create an effective Google Ads campaign through 6 easy steps, and you'll understand why having an on-site instant response capability can increase your overall conversion rates. So some general housekeeping, as many of you know, just please turn off your social platforms. If you have a TV on, please turn that off. Have a pen and pad ready. This is not a get-rich-quick gimmick. This is not just click a button and you get paid, and you need to be ready to help anyone who is in need of your expertise. We're going to be bringing a lot of people to your door, whether it's through email or phone calls. You just have to be ready to be able to help those people. And as I mentioned, my name is Michael Saad. I'm the CEO and founder of Digital1010. With us today, we have Jon Cumberworth, the CEO and co-founder of Client Chat Live.
Yep, how's it going, Michael?
Great. How are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Excited to get rolling. Just a kind of quick background on me. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Client Chat Live. We provide live chat service and software for a little over 500 law firms throughout the U.S. and Canada. We've been in business for a little over 10 years, so been around a while and learned quite a bit on the digital marketing front.
Great, thanks. And again, you know, at Digital1010, we're a 2-time Addy Award-winning agency. We've helped over 200 law firms scale their businesses. We are a Google preferred partner, and you know, we're really excited to share some really useful information with you guys today. So let's talk a little bit about the average law firm. Based on our engagements with law firms, we see that the average law firm spends anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Smaller firms spend about $2,500 a month, and larger firms can spend up to $500,000 a year. It's generally spent on things like TV, radio, print, billboards, referral services, networking groups, sometimes on digital marketing, a lot of times on social media. But really utilizing those things, they have no way of qualifying where their clients come from and what the value of those clients actually are. Most lawyers that come to us, they're always telling us, oh, well, you know, we have stiff competition. If a family lawyer, maybe there's a family law firm across the street from them. It's crazy to see, you know, within a 15-mile radius, how many of the same types of law firms are actually there. So, you know, they end up falling to things like the feast and famine syndrome. And I'm sure, Jon, you guys have probably heard about this too, where, you know, some months you have 10 great clients that come in, and some months you may have 1 or 2 clients that come in, you know?
Exactly. It's you have to be consistent month over month, and it's not just going to be a silver bullet, right? And it's going to get it 1 month.
Exactly. And a lot of these people, you know, who are with us today are probably they probably own their own firms, so they're spread in a lot of different ways. That's one of the things that they come back to us and say, you know, I have to handle my cases, I have to handle my employees, I have to handle my billing, I have to handle this and that and everything else. I don't know what else to do to scale my business because I have all these other things I have to handle. And so, you know, it's a really tough position to be in. And it's a really tough position to be in when you don't really know if you're wasting your money. You know, when you look at Nielsen data, and Nielsen, they basically go and provide statistics for any of the traditional media that you would normally advertise on TV, print, radio, things like that. When you look at the recall stats from things like TV, 30% ad recall, meaning only 30% of the people that see your ad remember enough to call you or to tell somebody about you. Radio is 12.5%, billboard is 8%, And the list keeps going on. You know, it's not necessarily a sustainable business model to continue to advertise on those platforms, because the ad spends are going up, but there's no real way to qualify what you're getting from those ad spends. And then when you look at referral business, you know, again, not very sustainable. 62% of all attorneys that we deal with look for friends and family to refer them business, and less than 5%, huge number, less than 5% actually convert the referrals that their friends and family send to them. That's crazy.
That is.
And when we look at you going to a referral network to purchase your leads, they can cost anywhere from $400 to $650 per contract, which is, again, absolutely insane. So where do law firms have the best chance of capturing high quality traffic and leads on a consistent basis? Google. And I'm sure many of you heard me talk about this before. In the last 30 seconds, 72,000 searches happen alone. 2.16 million happen every 30 seconds, 72,000, in the last 1 second. Specific to law firms, just vague terms, things like, lawyer near me, almost 49 million searches every single week. 15.7 million additional searches when they get a little bit more specific in terms of the type of law firm. And then an additional 250,000 when they're asking even more specific terms like value terms, free or free consultation, things like that. So you can see the numbers are huge. People are searching for law firms every single day, every single second throughout the day. So regardless of where you are, it's happening, and it's happening with intent, not necessarily as a billboard or a TV where you're just talking to a random person. Hopefully they see you or they hear you. These people are actually searching for your services.
I mean, if people are searching, obviously, if they're searching for a lawyer and they don't know somebody personally, they're either going to remember that TV commercial or billboard, but it's not likely. And so, I mean, they're not having a great day, or they might need your service. So they're going to go to Google. They don't have kind of preconceived ideas of who they want to work with. And so, yeah, I mean, if they're searching, they need somebody pretty quickly more often than not.
Yeah. I mean, think about yourself, think about yourself and how you engage with the different platforms that you have the access to. You don't go to Facebook to look for a lawyer. You don't go to Twitter to look for a lawyer. You don't turn on the TV to look for a lawyer. You may see an ad on TV, but you don't turn on the TV to look for a lawyer. You go to Google and you search for a lawyer. You search for a top-rated lawyer near me. You search for a personal injury lawyer near me. You search for a personal injury lawyer in North Carolina. There's a million different terms that you search for, but you're not searching on places like social media, TV, billboards, and such. Yes, that in the terms of a CDF, the consumer disposition funnel, awareness is at the very top, and things like TV and radio are definitely part of the marketing mix. But when you think about intent-based marketing, and you think about how people actually are looking and need your services, you look at where they go to get that information, and that always happens through Google. And as we start to look at some of those things that Jon had just mentioned, some of those horrific events. You had a bad day, you got into a car accident. The only thing that you have is a cell phone, and the only thing that you have the ability to search on 9 times out of 10, because especially on Apple phones, Chrome is what you have, or Safari at some point, but Google is really where you're going to go and search for that information. So, it's just natural for you to be in that space, but be in that space with the idea that there's going to be a lot of competition, and it's easier to have somebody who knows what they're doing handle it than for you to go into it blind, right? People come to you for your expertise, so you need to go to subject matter experts when dealing with things like Google. So as we talked about in the beginning, the feast and famine cycle and things like that, going to an expert is going to help solidify those issues so that they aren't happening again.
Yeah, and I would say, kind of on that topic, an expert for law firms as well. I mean, it's one thing to kind of generate activity and clicks, but it's another thing to generate clients, and that's something that's missed a lot of times from folks that are not used to working with law firms. So that's definitely something to keep in mind.
Exactly, and that's a big thing. When we start to think about clicks and how they come in, not all clicks are created equal, and that was part of the email sequence that we had sent out. Just because somebody is clicking to your website, there are a million reasons that they could be coming there. For informational purposes, they may have not clicked on the right ad. I mean, there are definitely a lot of things that you have to take into consideration, and having an expert going to with you to help navigate those things is going to help save you quite a bit of money. So as we get into the next few slides, we're going to really start to dive deep into the 6 steps in creating an effective marketing campaigns utilizing Google Ads and Client Chat Live. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat box at any time. And at the end of this, we'll go through and answer any questions and make sure that we have everyone taken care of. And if you hear a weird noise outside my house, or excuse me, in my office, I'm sorry, there's in the process of updating the road. So they're out there with a jackhammer. I'm sorry. I didn't know that was happening today. So step 1, research and discovery. Think about your firm, think about your ideal customer, and think about your competition, right? And these are just some top line things that we're going to go through today. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of other questions that you'll need to answer. But when you think about your practice, what kind of practice do you want to have? What type of work within the practice is going to bring you the highest revenue? Those are questions you need to answer as you start to define how your business will grow. You need to be ultra specific in regards to your audience. You need to have your target demo, to the T laid out. And when it comes to marketing where you are, focus only on a 15-mile radius. The further out that you get, the less likely you are to get qualified leads, and that's going to end up wasting money. As we start to think about your competition, you're going to want to watch your competitors' every move. There are tools online that you can utilize that will give you great insight as to estimates on what they spend monthly, where their ads are and what they say, how often they're up by calendar month, not necessarily day, by calendar month. Tons of tools online that'll give you that information. And again, you have to take it with a grain of salt. They are recommendations. Not anything is guaranteed because we don't have access to your competitors' websites. But very, very useful as you start to put together your strategy.
And you can use that data to make the decision to compete directly in wherever they are, or you can use it and say, I'm going to go where they're not, potentially geographically. That local aspect you mentioned, 15 miles. Kind of the big players out there that are just throwing money on Google tend to be in the big cities, right? They're in Austin, Dallas. They're not in the suburbs, or they're not in the areas surrounding. So it's oftentimes you can get a lot more leads and lower cost per click going outside of those cities and still get good qualified leads.
Exactly. And you think about the process. We're just touching the beginning, but as we start to see traffic come to your site, there's going to be ways for us to re-engage those people based on how long they've spent on your landing page or website. So we'll be able to drive the information that is most useful to them, back to them wherever they are within the interwebs, whether it's social media or different websites. So definitely a good piece of insight. So step 2, after we've done all of our research and discovery, after we've kind of laid out who we want to target, we've mapped out what makes us the most money, we're going to start to think about building our campaign. And our campaign is structured like the top image, where you have an AdWords account, and within the account, there's going to be a couple of ad campaigns. Beneath those campaigns, and those campaigns would be things like, motor vehicle accidents, or some kind of other big truck accident, so you think Campaign 1 is motor vehicle. Campaign 2 is big truck accident, all under the personal injury AdWords account. And then beneath those campaigns, you'll have things like the specific ad groups. And then as you start to define each of those ad groups, you'll go through and select keywords. You'll create ads, landing pages, all corresponding back to that specific ad group and campaign. If you look at a short version, how your customer comes to your site and how they engage with you, they'll see a keyword, they'll click your ad and either go to your landing page or directly to a phone call, and that will lead to your meeting. As we start to think about retargeting, we'll utilize both Google if it's applicable, because in some cases for some law firms like family law, it's not applicable. We'll utilize things like social media because we can still retarget through those platforms without being intrusive to your personal life, right? The way that Google looks at it, if specific to family law, if somebody in the household is looking for a divorce lawyer and their spouse does not know, but they have one computer, the last thing that Google wants to do is show their spouse ads in regards to a divorce lawyer. So it's just not something that they'll allow. But what you can do is create content that will live on Facebook. And as the user goes back to Facebook, it will be more of a soft sell blog post regarding, how we can help in tough situations that you could be potentially going through in your personal life, right? So that blog post will give them the information that they need because they've already seen your ad, clicked on it, went to your landing page, maybe didn't engage with you because they weren't sure, went to Facebook. Now they see the blog post and now they have more information. Maybe they make the decision at that point. But that's one way that we'll look at retargeting specifically for family lawyers. And I know that's a little bit down the rabbit hole also.
And Michael, traditionally is on the cost of retargeting, is that a more cost competitive or cost effective method?
Absolutely. Retargeting is definitely the most cost-effective way that you're going to generate leads as a law firm. We talked a little bit about the CDF, the consumer disposition funnel, and awareness being at the top of that funnel. Well, awareness also works with Google Ads. So as users are more aware of your products and services within your firm, they'll move down that disposition funnel into the consideration phase. As they read your content that from the retargeting on Facebook, that'll drive them even further down, hopefully into the making the decision and moving forward with your firm.
And a quick question on keywords for you.
Sure.
These are the words that we want our clients or our customers as a law firm to search, right? Not Absolutely. Like what I think they should search, what people are actually going to search.
Yeah, and there's a few different ways that we look at terms, right? So you can break terms down into broad match, into specific match, and a few other different types of match so that you can qualify where these potential consumers are coming from. And that's going to do a few things for you, right? It's going to allow you the ability to see what keywords and ad groups and campaigns are actually converting the best and continue to increase your budget or scale those campaigns so that you continue to generate more leads, more revenue. And then it'll also allow you the opportunity to eliminate any keywords that are frivolous, maybe potentially just bringing in random calls about people looking for information, right? So you'll be able to really hone in and narrow in on what's working and scale in that manner rather than just blanket terming, family lawyer near me, top lawyer near me, because the one thing that most law firms don't understand is that the legal profession has the highest CPA across all niches on Google. $135 is what the last time I checked via WordStream. Mm-hmm. Most lawyers that we deal with average about an $80 CPA, which is a $50 difference. That's, when you're paying $50 per lead and you're generally charging anywhere from $3,500 up, depending on what kind of practice you have per client, the numbers are there. It's just about understanding, hey, how much is it actually costing me? where is the cost actually coming from? Am I able to scale those specific campaigns? And if I'm not, how do I continue to duplicate those campaigns so that we can find out what's working and, grow exponentially? I mean, that's really what it all boils down to. And having your campaigns and ad groups broken up like this is really the most effective way for you to scale your firm. If you have a lot of different practice types, the last thing that you want to do is have, personal injury ads running for a family law part of your practice, right? So, those are different things that you'll end up learning, or having just general, when somebody searches for just a general term, like I need information regarding, mediation, they're probably not necessarily in the consideration phase yet. They're looking for information. So the ads that you have shouldn't necessarily drive that consideration. They should provide information because that's where they are in their journey. As you start to see users move into the consideration phase, that's when you can start to talk about how many cases you've won, how you've helped your specific clients, what to do and what not to do when approaching a lawyer. I mean, those are the times that you can really start to sell these people. It's not necessarily always smart to offer free consultations. So those are things, again, you're going to want to segment out of these types of campaigns so that you can see whether those ads for free consultations are actually generating revenue or you're just wasting time on the consultation. I mean, those are things that people wouldn't necessarily, most advertisers wouldn't tell you. They're like, oh, yeah, well, you should just go ahead and offer a free consultation because that's going to be the biggest carrot for you. But the next thing you know, especially if you're a small firm, you have 4 and 5 free consultation, and each consultation is supposed to be 30 minutes and goes an hour. Well, now you've just lost 4 hours out of your day, and that wasn't billable at all.
Right.
So those are things that we'll be able to navigate and kind of pinpoint, but it's really about how you set up your ad groups and campaigns. That's how you'll be able to tell where those things are coming from. So just a pro tip, and we tell this to every law firm, just based on how people are searching for you. 85% of your clients, your customers, will find you via mobile phone. In today's world, 90% of people have some kind of a smartphone. So they all have access to Google, again, and the ability to find you. So focusing on call campaigns is going to increase your ability to convert these clients, because if you're not there to answer the phone and it goes to a voicemail or to a busy signal, they're going to call someone else. It's as easy as that.
In addition to the phone call, text as well. I mean, if you've got to be reachable via one of those methods, for sure, and responsive. Like you said, answer the phone or be able to answer a text.
Exactly, and this goes back to a little bit about client chat. When we send visitors to a website, having the ability to have that instant response is like gold. I mean, honestly, they're looking for information. Being able to give them that information without hurdles is what we're trying to do, right? So focusing on call campaigns, one-click call campaigns, is definitely, part of what we do. But we also send people to your landing pages and websites, so they're going to have a lot of opportunity to ask questions or need information, and having something there to give them that information instantly is what's going to help drive your conversion rates. So create hyper-specific landing pages, and I actually have a file I'm going to share with you guys right now. You can download it. It is a checklist on high quality. All right, so you should be able to download that. A checklist on creating high quality landing pages. Just a couple of things about landing pages. You want to limit your navigation, remove any leaks from the funnel. Really, they should have 3 things they're able to do. 1, call you. 2, submit your form. 3, exit the page. If you're sending them to a landing page, the landing page is meant to generate a lead. Those are the only 3 actions you want to have on the page.
And chat.
Yeah, and chat, exactly. What chat's one of those things that's going to pop up. It should be a no-brainer because the information is right there, right? So if they're on a landing page, they're going to see the information and they're going to see, hey, somebody's here to help you right now. It's not, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're spending that money to get them to the landing page. You've got some demographics. Some folks don't want to pick up the phone. They don't want to fill out a form. So it's not for everybody, but you want as many options for them to reach out to you as possible.
Exactly. And you want to make sure that the call to actions that you have to reach out to you is clear. You know, you want to make sure that the benefits that you can provide these people are clear. All of those things are going to help alleviate some of the stress that they have when dealing with whatever they're dealing with and the reason that they're trying to call you, right? I mean, being able to see that this person has helped 20 other cases like mine is definitely going to give me a sense of comfort and confidence that they could help me. You know, I mean, that's really what it boils down to. The presentation of the page should be short, no less than one scroll. You don't necessarily want to give people everything. You want to give them enough information so that they can make the decision and either call, email, or chat you. Make sure that your pages are professional and branded. Utilize high-res imagery. Keep your social profile, at the bottom of the page. You don't necessarily need to have links out there, but you need to have some social proof. So if you have reviews from places like Facebook or Google, you can go ahead and transpose them onto the landing page so that they're there. And if they go to Facebook or Google, they'll see the same ones, but they don't need to be linked out to those things. And then if you have any credibility indicators, associations, accolades that you've won, it's definitely a good thing to also share those. So step 4, track everything. It is imperative to your business. And this is probably the most important thing that I'll tell you, that anybody will tell you. If you're not tracking everything that is happening from your marketing, you are wasting money. You might as well just throw your money into the oceans. That's like the short end of the stick, you know what I mean? So setting up third-party call tracking. You want to know who's calling. You want to know if you have a call answering service that they're taking the calls and handling them with care. So utilizing call recording is absolutely one of the most important things that you'll have. You want to install Google Analytics tracking. You want to install your Facebook pixel tracking. You want to set up an after-hours call answering service because the calls don't stop just because, it's nighttime. Like we were talking about just a second ago, SMS instant response for message help or appointment setting. When we start to think about rules, you want to spend your time tracking the numbers that are going to make the most benefit to your business, and you want to track those numbers and make sure that they are correct, 100% correct all the time. You want to spot check your calls regularly, and you want to utilize some type of CRM system to document and track the client's lifetime value, because some clients, depending on the type of practice you have, will come back and they'll be repeat customers. So you just want to be able to know, like, hey, I got this lead from a Google ad. They ended up netting me $3,500 in revenue. A year later, they came back, asked for a similar service, and ended up netting me another $3,500 in revenue. You didn't necessarily have to spend any more money on the Google ad to generate that second series of revenue, but it still affects what you spent overall. So you just want to be able to qualify where that money is coming from.
And that's just good business practice overall, not just for law firms. I mean, if they, sit in a quarterly meeting and say, what are we going to spend next month? Where are we going to spend it? If they don't have the data and track it regularly and know where it's coming from, then it's going to be really hard to make decisions.
Exactly.
And I deal with it all the time, not just in my own business, but with our clients. We talk to Google with our software, and if people don't know that they're getting chat leads, form fills, phone calls, all those conversion types in their Google Analytics, then they're missing out. So,
and that's one thing that a lot of lawyers, they'll come back to us and complain. They'll be like, well, Mike, I don't know where my leads are coming from. It's crazy because I get so many calls and emails. I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to track my revenue and where it's coming from. Well, when we install all of these different call recording, call tracking, email tracking, we'll be able to clearly qualify every single phone number, and in some cases their name, how long they spent on the phone with you. We'll have the recording for you. We'll provide that through a secure FTP link every single month. If you need them daily, we can provide them daily as well. So there's different things that we'll be able to do to ensure the quality of leads that we're providing. But on the back end, you guys have to have the intake system in place so that you're able to then close the leads and then move them through your billing and, your process, essentially. You know what I mean?
And a lot of times you say, how'd you hear about us? And they just say Google.
Yeah.
Well, pretty broad, but then you look, going back to your kind of breakdown of the ad groups, campaigns, keywords, if someone converts on your website, on your landing page, we should be able to tell you what keyword, what search term they used specifically. So you can go back and say, oh yeah, on this day they converted through a web form, phone call, chat lead. They searched this exact term, and you get 2 or 3 conversions on that same search term. That you're going to start bidding that up, or you're going to focus more on that, right? So
exactly,
it's crazy how much information and data is captured with all these processes and systems.
And that's one thing that I think, again, it's another good point. The data that we're able to capture is useful, but it gets more useful the longer that we're able to capture it, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. So if we have a campaign running for 3 months, we'll have some good data. We'll be able to make some good recommendations, but not the same as if we have a campaign running for a year or 2 years or 3 years. We'll be able to go and look at all that historical information, all of those keywords and campaign groups and ads, and we'll be able to clearly identify winners and losers. And that's how we'll be able to make your law firm scale from, going from, potentially 3-4 clients a month to 20 and 30 clients a month. Now you have a partner and you guys are continuing to go down that path. It's a much easier way to qualify the value of your marketing spend than just saying, oh, I feel good about myself because I have a billboard in the most on the most one of the most busiest roads in my town. Just because your billboard is up there or your Facebook ad is up doesn't mean, again, there is intent behind it, right? It's all great for awareness, but if you're looking to scale the business, you scale the business behind intent, not awareness.
And also creating consistency
exactly.
as well. That's the holy grail, consistent month over month, right?
Exactly. And retargeting, we talked a little bit about this. Yes, law firms can retarget, some more than others. Retargeting through Google is not available for every legal niche. We talked about family law, but the effectiveness of retargeting and multi-channel marketing is absolutely stellar. When you start to see how people engage with different pieces of your content, you're able to then offer them different incentives to drive them into your sales funnel for your firm. So if somebody has seen your intent-based ad through Google, and we talked about this a little bit, and then they go back to Facebook and they see a short video, maybe a commercial that you've already created, and they watch 10 seconds of the video. Well, we know that they're going to watch 10 seconds of the video based on our tracking capabilities. We can then present them with a second video, maybe a different type of video with some sort of offer, because we know that they saw our ad based on our click from Google. We know that they came back to Facebook, saw our ad from our retargeting campaign, and they watched a certain amount of time from it. And then we can go ahead and give them a third ad, with a different piece of content, as we mentioned, and some kind of offer. So again, it's all based on the user's intent. And just because the majority of your traffic is going to come from intent-based marketing, your social pixel is going to get smarter, allowing you to create higher quality duplicate audiences. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably seen gurus online talking about, create all these audiences for, lookalike audiences. They're going to be exactly contextually relevant to the type of people you want to market to. Well, because we've created that intent and we've driven that audience, that specific person because of intent to your page, the audience characteristics that your pixel will pick up are going to be a lot better than if they were just seeing ads on Facebook and going to your page. Step 6, and we're starting to come to the end, tweak and scale. And we talked about a little bit about this, tweaking and scaling when you find great campaigns and keywords that are really starting to convert well for you, whether it's through chat, email, or phone call. As of January 2019, Google is now allowing you to optimize your ads for conversions. So that's something that you definitely want to look into. If a campaign is winning, you do not change the campaign. You can duplicate the campaign and then make adjustments. You can remove specific keywords, but you do not change anything inside of the specific campaign because it will eliminate any learning that the Google tracking is in the process of doing. And you want to make sure that you're scaling at a comfortable pace. You know, that's one thing that I think is probably a lot of people don't look at, and they're like, oh, I'm going to get a ton of leads and this is going to be great and my business is going to grow so much, but they forget about how much time it actually takes to handle some of the clients that they have. And because they're going to be getting so many leads and so many qualified clients, you're going to be accepting a lot of billable clients. And you just want to make sure that when you're accepting these billable clients, that you're able to give them the quality of work that you would want somebody to give to you. So as you scale, you just want to be cognizant of the time it's going to take you to provide excellent services to your customers. So now that we've kind of went through the 6 steps, we're just going to talk about doing it right, because doing it right is honestly worth the investment. And we've talked about a lot of reasons why, and we'll touch on some of those right now. As I mentioned, the legal niche across Google has the highest CPA across any other campaign type. It's honestly crazy at $135 per acquisition. We mentioned that 15.7 million searches a day happen for a specific type of lawyer. Think family lawyer or a medical malpractice lawyer or a divorce lawyer. You know, 15.7 million searches a week, excuse me, not a day, a week. The average lawyer's retainer is anywhere from 2,000 to 3,500, and in some cases, firms are well over 5,000 and 10,000, depending on the type of firm. You know, we deal with, and John and I had this conversation, we deal with some firms, you know, they refuse to offer a free consultation because they understand that the consultation is going to cost them money in terms of time. So they charge $500 and it goes to a retainer. You know, there is money out there. It's just a matter of how and who you're targeting and how many times, you know, you're able to qualify those people and convert them into your customers. So if you're getting 30 and 40 leads a month and you're able to convert 1 in 3, 1 in 4, you know, your odds are pretty good that you're going to far surpass your ad spend in terms of ROI. So, you know, you're going to have to remember that, yes, there is some learning that happens in the upfront, but over the long term, this is exactly where you guys need to be. You don't want to sacrifice something that is so important to your business because you want to find a cheap solution. 75% of law firms that we engage with have all come to us because they waste their money looking for a cheap solution, a new fad, or an expensive referral. It's absolutely insane, you know, the amount of money that lawyers will spend trying to generate leads, but don't know if they're actually quality leads. And then again, grow at a rate that's comfortable to you and your practice. You know, you want to still be able to provide a quality service to the people who are looking for your help. And you want to increase your opportunity to book appointments from traffic using an immediate response technique like Client Chat Live. So just to recap, you know, all of our steps really quick. You know, step 1, you're going to go through your research and discovery. Step 2, you'll build out your campaigns, your ad groups, your keywords, your landing pages. Step 3 that comes into your landing pages, Step 4, you'll install all of your tracking and your call recording. Step 5, you'll utilize your retargeting where and when applicable. And then step 6, you're going to tweak and scale. So what questions do you guys have? Is there anything that we can answer for you that we didn't cover today? I know it's very top line. There's a lot more that goes into each of these specific buckets. So if there's anything that we can answer, please feel free to drop it in the chat box now.
Yeah, one question. You mentioned firms that do multiple practice areas. Do you think it's wise to put all those practice areas to play with Google Ads, or is it kind of practice area specific? I know PI is ultra competitive, and then you've got family law, criminal defense, all that. So is one practice area better than the other, and for some firms that do all?
Not necessarily. So basically the way that we deal with multi-niche firms is we'll have specific campaigns built out for each of the types, right? And then within each of those campaigns, they'll have specific landing pages that we'll test. So we will treat it as if it is its own type of firm. So that way we're able to go back and again hone in on things like the free consultation, because to your point, sometimes personal injury lawyers free consultation will convert a lot higher than maybe a family lawyer free consultation. Family law is a little bit more personal, so people are willing to pay a little bit more for that sense of like comfort and responsibility. They don't necessarily look at the $500 retainer as a hurdle. They look at it as this person is taking consideration of their time, and hopefully that will give me more of their quality time, rather than this guy's going to give me a 30-minute free consultation. I don't really know if he's going to answer any of my questions. People that are in a personal injury situation, they're in an immediate need. You know what I mean? So they need to have that 30-minute consultation with you to see if you can actually help them, because not all personal injury lawyers are created equal, and not all personal injury lawyers handle the same types of cases. And this goes back to something that we had talked about prior to this meeting. Referrals. When we bring in these leads to you, they're going to be highly qualified. You'll be able to close some of these cases and then refer them out for that $400 to $650 referral fee. So there are other ways for you to generate revenue based on the leads that we're bringing into you. It's just a matter of understanding, again, the research and discovery. What type of firm do you want to be? What makes you the most money? Those are the things that are going to help us define these campaigns.
For sure. I'm always amazed at some of the attorneys and firms that don't take advantage of leads that they may not take as a case, or they don't handle that type of case, or maybe a geographic area. Someone finds them outside of the geographic area. I mean, that's a huge opportunity to refer that out, and in some cases get a referral fee. And others just create good relationships to then get a reciprocal referral down the line potentially.
Exactly. And I think the reciprocal referral is definitely something that every lawyer should look into. Not everything is always about money. Value comes in many different ways. And if you're open and honest about your situation and what you have going on, other people will reciprocate that same demeanor. So it's just one of those things where if I understand that you're a great lawyer and you're a city over from me and this person called me, I'm going to call you and say, hey, look, if you get any leads, feel free to send them my way. Here's one, because I'm sending out the olive branch. They're more likely to reciprocate. You know what I mean?
Sure. For sure.
All right. So thanks again for joining today's workshop. I'm Michael Saad, the CEO and founder of Digital1010. If you'd like to schedule a meeting with me, you can go ahead and click the link below. Did I go through? Excuse me. Sorry. Oh, we got a question. So soon, do you need to contact a lead before they've moved on? I've heard, yes, absolutely. So follow-up is key. Especially Emmy, what type of firm do you work with? So, and while she's responding, so follow-up is key. 20 minutes is definitely the window. 5 minutes is actually ideal. If you can get back to somebody within 5 minutes, you're more likely to qualify that lead and confirm the case. The problem is because, like anything else, think of yourself as you're looking for something and you're in need of that something. So family law, if your husband and you just got into a huge fight, maybe he hit you, maybe he didn't, whatever's happening, you're in desperate need. You need to find somebody that can help you at any, in an instant. So you're going to call 1, 2, 3 family lawyers until the first one picks up. So 20 minutes is a good window. 5 minutes is ideal on a phone call. Chat is instant, right? They come to your landing page. It's instant. It's happening right then and there. And that's why, today's workshop is with Client Chat Live, so that you don't have to have that 20-minute window anymore, because it's instant. You're going to have somebody there that's going to be able to get this person the information that they need, and or book your next meeting with them within the next 30 minutes, hour, or whatever fits their schedule and yours.
And I would say, and I mean, I know you practice family law. You said, I mean, it's, if you kind of adopt the PI model, I mean, it's within a minute. And I think it's just general business, and it's the same for my business as well. If I don't call someone back when they request information or when they contact me, whenever they did that, it's likely a time when they can talk or they can reach out. So I think 20 minutes is definitely a good number. I've seen some firms that say they'll get back within the same day, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But
no more 24-hour rule, guys.
Right.
Seriously, no more 24-hour rule.
Yep.
And think about it like this, when you start to think about all of the different things that these people have going on in their life, they're looking for somebody that's going to be instantly available. Family law, personal injury, whatever the scenario is, they're in need of somebody's expertise. So they may not have all the time in the world. So having that short window is going to give you the leg up on other firms that they've called before you. This goes back into other things that we've talked about during this conversation. Having some kind of call answering service available when you guys are not available. You're in court. Well, just because you're in court, if you own your own firm, doesn't mean that the calls stop coming in. Hire a call answering service. Give them a script. Give them the ability to book consultations for you, so that when you get out of the court case, you can just look at your phone and, hey, I have a meeting in an hour. It's as easy as that, guys.
And I know a lot of the call centers and folks that do that type of work, you can also do some qualification with them. If they see a web lead come through on the form that was filled out, or that's a specific request type. So only call back divorce potential clients. They can do that. And I mean, if you think about it, a lot of folks look at it and they go, oh, it's, $200, $300, $400, $500 a month additional that I don't really have. Well, if you get one more client per month from that, I mean, that makes the difference, I would say. And so just having that system in place to where, like Michael said, you're in court, you don't have to run out and when you're finished and make a phone call, it's already been called, you have some qualification already done. That process in place is key.
Yep. So really cool stuff. What's next? If you're interested in discussing your current marketing strategy, we have a few free consultations actually right now. Let me see if I can get this to pop up. So free 30-minute session. You'll be having the session with me. We'll go through basically your current marketing strategy. We'll discuss our program, the Law Firm Accelerator. It's basically a done-for-you service. We'll handle all the things that we discussed today and more. We'll map out your next 30 to 60-day goals, and then we'll put you down the path to success. So if you are interested, feel free to just click the link, pick a time that works for you, and we'll go through and make sure that we have all of your questions answered. And then,
as far as for us, we're offering waiving our setup fee, which is normally $199. But I'm always happy to talk to anybody, any attorney out there as well that just has questions about digital marketing and any other way I can help. I'm happy to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jon, thank you again for jumping on today's workshop. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys saw some great value. You got some good notes, and if there's anything you need, to Jon's point, please reach out to either one of us. We'd love to help you further. Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.